Today, we're going to talk about why your career break may actually be your biggest asset when it comes to your job search. Gone are the days when you have to hide or brush over your employment gap. Instead, I'm going to challenge you to actually lean in to the value that your career break brings to your job search. I'm Laura, and I have been in your shoes. I know the struggles of both taking a career break and returning from run. And it wasn't until I started to actually see the value in my career break that I was able to start landing interviews and offers. So let's get started. Number one is that your career break has allowed you to take on new opportunities that you might not have had the chance to take on if you had stayed in the paid workforce. Now, when we think of a career path, a lot of us still think of that traditional ladder where you keep moving up rung by rung. But generally, it's going to be in the exact same realm of experience. Now, when you take a career break, you're able to step away from that and take on things that may have nothing to do with what you were doing before, but that are going to make you a much more well-rounded person than you might have been if you just would have stayed in your career path. Think about it. You can take on strategic volunteering opportunities, freelance work, you can take classes and courses.
Hey, it's Future Laura here. As I was editing this video, I realized how out of touch this section sounded. Now, I completely get it. When you're on a career break, there are going to be times when you're like, look, I am barely surviving, let alone even thinking about taking on something more. And I totally get that. But as things maybe normalize or you do find yourself having even an hour or two per week, I would highly recommend looking at something that will continue to develop your skills in some capacity. For example, I took a writing class that was 6 weeks long and it was one night a week for 2 hours online. So I made sure my husband had, bedtime duty during that time, and I just dedicated 2 hours a week for myself. And that really helped when I started doing freelance writing. So just think of ways you can incorporate it. Don't feel the pressure to do, volunteering or freelance or classes all at the same time. Just find a rhythm that works for you, that you can at least incorporate one thing that will get you a bit closer to landing a job after your career break. Okay, back to old Laura.
And when you lean in to the fact that you have this opportunity, you can fully take advantage of those offshoots that make you just a more well-rounded and more interesting person as well. For me personally, I have done volunteering in areas that I had no work experience in, which helped me when I did return to the paid workforce. And I also had the opportunity to pursue my creative side by doing freelance writing, something that I had never done in my professional life, but now I can use that as a launching board for when I do look for positions because I have those credentials behind my name and I never would have had the time to do so in my full-time role. So look at what opportunities that you have that are available to you because you are on a career break. And number two is that you've most likely developed your soft skills during your career break. If you've taken a career break for any type of caregiving role, I pretty much guarantee that you have developed your skills in empathy, communication, compromise, advocacy. And even if you have taken a step back to maybe travel, then you have also developed those skills. And according to a LinkedIn survey, 92% of HR professionals value soft skills as much or more than hard skills. And just so we're clear, soft skills are more of those intangible skills that are like, communication, leadership, organization, advocacy, while hard skills are more those things that you have to learn in school, such as coding or Excel, graphic design. And soft skills are important in so many positions. If you are working with people in any way, if you have superior soft skills, that is going to be such an asset for you. Number three is that when you step away from the paid workforce, your perspective changes. And this allows you to truly focus on what you want and don't want when you do return to the paid workforce. So often during our career breaks, our priorities shift, our focus shifts, just our view on what we value shifts. And when you have a better perspective, you're able to map out what you want in your next position, making your job search much more streamlined. And this is a gift. So often we are caught up in our job and we are just going through the motions that we aren't even allowed the time to step back and reflect. And your career break has allowed you that time to step back and reflect. So use that time to truly hone in on what you want now, not what you wanted before you took your career break, but what you want now, and use that as a compass to get you to where you want to be. And number 4 is that your career break has allowed you to expand your network and your connections. Now, there's a fallacy that the people who are going to be able to help us most in our job search are the people close to us. In reality, the people that can help us the most are actually those weak ties. And that's because those weak ties are not in our inner circle. The weak ties may be people that are in a completely different industry, in a completely different stage of life, even a different location. And those weak ties are the ones that can provide us new information. So think about the people that you have met during your career break. Perhaps you've taken on some volunteering opportunities and you've met people through there, or you're a part of a mom's group and you have new connections through there, or maybe you've even joined some online groups to get support during your career break. And there are people who aren't even living in your area. Those are the people that are more of the weak ties that can provide you valuable information as you start your job search. The power of connections cannot be understated when you start your job search. When I say that 50 to 80% of jobs are filled through networking or connections, that means that you need to start connecting right now. And like I said, the beauty of your career break is that you have met so many more people, and the diversity of people has broadened your network. So you need to make that work for you. And number 5 is that you are actually able to apply for positions that the average Joe is not. Yep, they are called returnships. And these are internships essentially for people who have taken a career break. Now, these are popping up more and more and more, and they are with great companies. And when you have a career break on your resume, it actually is a requirement to even have your foot in the door for this type of program, which means you are not going against everybody else who's applying for positions at that company. You are only going against that smaller subset of people who have had a career break. And that is a golden opportunity that you might not have had if you didn't have your career break. So lean into that. And if you would like more information about returnships, make sure to check out the video that I have linked in the description. So I hope this video has made you see your career break is actually a wonderful opportunity to differentiate yourself from all of the other candidates. So stop hiding your career break and instead own it and confidently communicate why it actually makes you the best candidate for a position. And if you would like to learn how to deal with an employment gap on your resume, make sure to check out my video here.